We're making gluten-free lasagna today without the pasta. This is my eggplant lasagna that's a lot lighter than traditional lasagna, but we're still keeping all the normal amounts of cheese in there. We're gonna start by slicing the eggplant. You wanna look for a really large eggplant if possible, because the wider and larger it is, the more it's going to mimic lasagna sheets. So I have here 2 large ones, and we're going to go ahead and cut them up and use this as the base for the recipe. Trim off the end, and then we stand it up, and we're gonna slice about 1/8 inch thickness of planks, like that. All right, we've got a ton of eggplant slices here, and we may not end up using all of them just because these 2 eggplants were really large. Now what we wanna do is we wanna go ahead and add some salt on top of these eggplants and draw out some of that moisture so they don't get soggy in the oven. And I don't recommend skipping this step because eggplant has a lot of moisture in it, and all that moisture gets released when baked, and it's just going to create a much more soggy consistency. So definitely take the time to salt it and release that moisture. We're going to wait about 15 minutes to let that salt draw out the moisture from the eggplant. And while we're waiting for that, we're gonna go ahead and start cooking the filling. So I'm gonna start with some olive oil and onions. And we're gonna cook the onions for a few minutes just until it's nice and translucent. Okay, now we'll add some minced garlic. I have about 4 cloves here. Woo! 4 cloves of garlic and a teaspoon of Italian seasoning. Now we're gonna cook it just for a minute until it's nice and fragrant. And we're gonna season it with some salt and pepper. Okay, now we add 25 ounces of marinara of your choice. I also have a really good homemade marinara recipe that you can definitely check out, and you can use it for this recipe. But any jarred marinara works. And we'll also add 1/4 cup of chopped basil. And we just want to simmer this until it's nice and warm through, just about 2 to 3 minutes. And while that's simmering, we can actually check up on the eggplant and see what it's looking like. That's not a simmer, that's a boil. And what we want to do is just check out all the water that comes out of it. You see that? We want to go ahead and dab it dry to remove all of that moisture. And as tedious as this is, it's a really good idea to flip the eggplant and add salt on the other side as well to draw out even more moisture for another 10 to 15 minutes. All right, we're waiting on the eggplant. We've got the sauce done, and now it's time to make the creamy ricotta mixture. So we're gonna start with 1 egg in a bowl and whisk the egg. We'll add 15 ounces of ricotta cheese, 3/4 of a cup of Parmesan cheese, and some fresh basil, some fresh ground pepper. I'm not adding salt to this because the Parmesan cheese is pretty salty, and we're heavily salting the layers of eggplant, so we should be good with just some black pepper. Okay, now we're gonna mix it all together until it's well combined like this. Okay, the ricotta mixture is done, our marinara sauce is done, the eggplant is done, and now it's pretty much an assembly party. First, we'll put a layer of marinara at the bottom of the pan, and we want to put about 1/3 of the marinara sauce at the bottom, and we'll save the other 2/3 for the remainder of the layer. Next, we'll layer the eggplant slices. So we're just going to layer them just like they're lasagna sheets. This is why I like to go with something that is pretty wide as well, so that you can layer them in here without overlapping too much. You can even cut some of the eggplant slices like this, just to fill the gaps. Next, we'll do 1/3 of the ricotta mixture, so just kind of eyeball it, throw it on there, and 1/3 of the mozzarella cheese. Now we're just gonna repeat the layers. All right, we've gotten to the last layer. We've got the lasagna slices right here, and we're going to finish it off with a mixture of ricotta, more of that mozzarella cheese, and sometimes if I have some extra pieces of eggplant, I do like to put some more pieces on top. Really show off that eggplant on top of the cheese, just like that. More sprinkling of cheese. It's all about the cheese in this recipe. And a final touch of cheese, we're gonna add some grated Parmesan cheese on top. And we're gonna finish it off with fresh ground pepper. All right, we are going to spray this foil so we don't lose any of that cheese. And we're gonna bake this at 400 degrees for 30 minutes. Then we'll remove the foil and we'll broil it for like 2 to 3 minutes until that cheese gets nice and golden. We just took it out of the oven and I've been letting this rest for about 15 minutes, which is really important because you want everything to just kind of stay put when you cut into it. But look how good this looks, you guys. And one thing about this eggplant lasagna is you actually don't miss the pasta because the layers of the eggplant are just so hearty and filling, and you've got all that cheese in there and a wonderful marinara sauce, so it ends up just being so good. I'm just adding some fresh basil on top before serving it, and then I'm gonna go ahead and slice it. All right, time for a taste test. Oh my gosh. That is so good. I love how cheesy it is and hearty it is, and I love all the flavors of lasagna without the lasagna sheets. I think you guys are really gonna like this one. And if you do like it, please feel free to share this recipe with other friends and family, and I'll see you guys at the next video.